Dr. Lisa Martinez pressed her fingers against her temples as another wave of pain shot through her head. The strange sensation had been growing stronger over the past 3 days, but this time it felt different. This time there were words mixed. In with the pain. "Help me," the voice whispered inside her mind. It was soft, desperate, and clearly female. "Please, someone help me." Lisa looked around the science lab of the Liberty. Her fellow researchers were busy with their daily tasks, completely unaware of what she was experiencing. She had not told anyone about the voice yet. How could she? They would think she was losing her mind. The Liberty was humanity's most advanced research ship, floating in the dark space near the Kepler 442 system. For 6 months, they had been studying the planets in this distant solar system, looking for signs of life. So far, they had found nothing but rocks and gas. Captain Jake Morrison walked into the lab, his boots making soft sounds on the metal floor. He was a tall man with gray hair and kind eyes. Lisa had known him for 5 years, and she trusted him more than anyone else on the ship. "How are the scans coming along, Lisa?" Jake asked, looking at the screens showing data from the 4th planet. Lisa hesitated. The voice in her head had been getting stronger, and she was sure it was coming from that planet. But how could she explain this to Jake without sounding crazy? "The readings are strange," she said finally. "There's something unusual about the planet's core. The energy patterns don't match anything we've seen before." Jake moved closer to look at the data. What kind of energy patterns? Before Lisa could answer, the pain in her head became much worse. She grabbed the edge of the table to steady herself. The voice was clearer now, more urgent. "I am trapped," the voice said. "Trapped in crystalline light. I have been alone for so long. Please, if you can hear me, help me." Lisa gasped and almost fell. Jake caught her arm quickly. "Lisa, what's wrong? Are you sick?" She looked into his worried eyes and made a decision. "Jake, I need to tell you something. You're going to think I'm crazy, but I've been hearing a voice in my head. It's coming from the 4th planet." Jake's face showed surprise, but not disbelief. After years of exploring space, he had learned that impossible things sometimes turned out to be true. "Tell me about this voice," he said calmly. Lisa took a deep breath. "It's a woman. She says she's trapped. She's been asking for help for 3 days now. The voice gets stronger when I look at the data from the planet's core." At that moment, Commander Sam Rodriguez entered the lab. He was younger than Jake, with dark hair and sharp eyes. Sam was in charge of all the away missions, and he was known for being very careful about following rules. "Captain," Sam said, "we're getting some odd readings from the 4th planet. The sensors are picking up patterns that look almost like language." Lisa felt her heart beat faster. "What kind of patterns?" Sam showed them a display on his tablet. Lines of blue light formed geometric shapes that seemed to pulse with their own rhythm. The patterns were beautiful but strange, like nothing any human had ever seen. "They appear to be mathematical," Sam continued, "but there's something else. The computer says they contain emotional data too. I don't understand how that's possible." The voice in Lisa's head spoke again, stronger than ever. "You found my language, you found my words. Please, I need you to understand. I need you to come to me." Lisa grabbed Jake's arm. "She's talking to me right now. She knows we found her language. She wants us to come to her." Jake looked at Sam, then back at Lisa. As captain, he had to make difficult decisions every day. But this was different. This was first contact with an alien species, something humanity had dreamed about for centuries. "Sam, what would it take to get a team down to the planet?" Jake asked. Sam frowned. "Captain, first contact protocol says we should report this to Earth and wait for instructions. We're not supposed to make contact without permission." "But she's asking for help," Lisa said. "She's trapped. We can't just leave her there." The pain in Lisa's head was getting worse. She could feel the alien's desperation, her loneliness, her fear. It was like experiencing someone else's emotions directly. "How long would it take to get permission from Earth?" Jake asked. "At least 3 months," Sam replied. "Maybe longer." Lisa shook her head. She might not have 3 months. I can feel how weak she is. The voice is getting fainter. Jake was quiet for a moment, thinking. He had always been a man who followed rules, but he also believed in doing what was right. If there was someone trapped and asking for help, how could they ignore that? Sam, I want you to prepare an away team, Jake said finally. We're going down to investigate. Captain, are you sure about this? If something goes wrong, If something goes wrong, it's my responsibility, Jake said firmly. But I won't leave. Someone trapped if we can help them. Dr. Amy Foster, the ship's language expert, had been listening quietly from her workstation. She was a small woman with red hair and a brilliant mind for communication. Captain, Amy said, if Lisa is really communicating with an alien, I should be part of the away team. We'll need someone who understands how language works. Jake nodded. Good thinking. Sam, I want you to lead the team. Take Amy and Lisa with you. And bring Dr. Kevin Brown for medical support. Sam still looked worried. What equipment should we bring? Everything we have for digging and cutting, Jake said. If she's trapped in crystal like she says, we'll need to get her out. Lisa felt a surge of hope from the voice in her head. The alien had heard their conversation somehow, and she was grateful. Thank you, the voice whispered. Thank you for believing. Thank you for coming. As the team prepared for the mission, Lisa tried to learn more about the alien. Through their strange mental connection, she discovered that the being's name was something like Zara, though the real name was much more complex. Zara had been trapped for what felt like thousands of years, though time worked differently for her people. The fourth planet was covered in red sand and strange rock formations. As their shuttle descended through the thin atmosphere, Lisa could see the ruins of what had once been a great city. Tall spires and curved buildings were now broken and empty, covered by centuries of dust. Look at this place, Sam said as they landed. It's like everyone just disappeared. Amy was already studying the geometric patterns that covered many of the buildings. These symbols match the energy patterns we detected from orbit. This whole city might be one giant language. As they explored the ruins, Lisa felt the voice getting stronger. Zara was guiding them toward a deep cave system at the edge of the city. The caves were filled with crystals that glowed with soft blue light. She's down there, Lisa said, pointing deeper into the cave system. Deep underground. She's been waiting for us. The team followed the glowing crystals deeper into the planet. The walls around them were covered in more of the geometric patterns, and the air hummed with strange energy. Finally, they reached a huge underground chamber. In the center of the room was a pillar of living crystal, and inside the crystal was a figure that looked almost human, but was made of pure light. My name is Zara, the voice said in Lisa's head, clearer than ever before. Thank you for coming. Thank you for hearing me. Lisa looked at the beautiful, trapped being and felt tears in her eyes. We're here to help you, she said out loud. Hoping Zara could understand, the alien woman in the crystal looked directly at Lisa with eyes that seemed to hold the wisdom of ages. When she spoke again, her voice was filled with hope and desperate longing. Will you be the first to really understand me? Lisa stared at the figure trapped inside the crystal pillar. Zara looked almost human, but her body was made of soft, glowing light that changed colors as she moved. Her face was beautiful but sad, with features that seemed to shift between familiar and completely alien. She's incredible, Dr. Amy Foster whispered, pulling out her recording equipment. I've never seen anything like this. Commander Sam Rodriguez kept his hand near his weapon, but his eyes showed wonder rather than fear. How long has she been trapped in there? Lisa pressed her hand against the crystal surface. It was warm to the touch and hummed with energy. Inside her mind, Zara's voice was clearer than ever before. So long, Zara said in Lisa's head. I have been here for thousands of your years. Time moves differently for my people, but even for us, this has been an eternity. Lisa spoke out loud so her team could hear. She says she's been trapped for thousands of years. Zara, can you tell us who did this to you? The light inside the crystal grew dimmer, and Lisa felt a wave of sadness wash over her. It was not her own emotion, but Zara's feelings flowing through their mental connection. "My own people, Zara," replied the ethereals. "We were once the most powerful race in the galaxy. We could move stars and create worlds. But we gave up something important to gain that power." Dr. Kevin Brown, the medical officer, was scanning the crystal with his instruments. The energy readings are off the charts. "This isn't just a prison, it's some kind of life support system." Amy was working on her computer, trying to understand the patterns of light that flowed through the crystal. The mathematical sequences are incredibly complex. But there's something else here. Emotional data, like Sam said, how is that possible? Lisa felt Zara's attention turn toward Amy. "She studies language," Zara said. "Good, you will need her to truly understand what I am saying." "Zara wants to talk to you, Amy," Lisa said. "She says we need you to understand her language." Amy moved closer to the crystal. "What should I do?" "Touch the crystal," Lisa said, following Zara's instructions. "But be careful. The connection is very strong." Amy placed her hand on the crystal surface next to Lisa's. Immediately, her eyes went wide with shock. She could hear Zara's voice too, but it was different from what Lisa experienced. "This is amazing," Amy said, her voice filled with excitement. "She's not just speaking words. She's sharing concepts, emotions, memories. Her language works on multiple levels at the same time." Sam moved closer, but kept his distance from the crystal. "What is she saying?" Amy closed her eyes, concentrating on the flow of information. "She's trying to explain why she was imprisoned. In her society, everyone shared the same mind. They thought as one group, felt as one group. Individual thoughts were considered dangerous." Lisa felt Zara's pain as the alien remembered her past. "What did you do wrong, Zara?" "I fell in love," Zara replied, and Lisa could feel the alien's confusion and hurt. "I felt individual emotions. I wanted to be myself, not just part of the group. In my society, that was the worst crime possible." Lisa translated for the team, and they all looked shocked. Sam shook his head. "She was imprisoned for falling in love? That's horrible." Dr. Brown continued his scans. "The crystal is definitely keeping her alive, but it's also doing something else. It's slowly draining her energy and sending it somewhere else." "Where is it going?" Amy asked. Zara's voice became urgent in Lisa's mind. "To the network. The ethereals built a galaxy-wide system that connects all their worlds. They use the life force of prisoners like me to power it. We are living batteries for their civilization." Lisa gasped. "She says the energy is being used to power a network that spans the galaxy." "The ethereals are using prisoners as living batteries." The team exchanged worried looks. Sam checked his weapon again. "Are there others like her?" "Millions," Zara replied. "Sadly, millions of us who dared to think for ourselves. We are scattered across the galaxy, trapped and slowly dying to keep their perfect society running." Amy was working frantically on her computer. "I'm starting to understand her language better. It's not just words and emotions. It includes quantum information, mathematical concepts, even physical sensations. No wonder it took so long to figure out." Dr. Brown looked up from his medical scanner. "Her energy levels are dropping. Whatever this crystal is doing, it's killing her slowly." Lisa felt panic rising in her chest. "How can we get her out?" "The crystal responds to consciousness," Zara explained, "but not ethereal consciousness. We built it to resist our own minds. You would need a different type of awareness to break it." "Human consciousness?" Lisa asked. "Perhaps. Your minds work differently than ours. You can hold many contradictory thoughts and emotions at the same time without losing yourselves. We never learned how to do that." Amy looked excited. "That's why she could contact you mentally." "Lisa, human brains must be compatible with her telepathic abilities, but different. Enough to slip past the prison's defenses." Sam was studying the crystal structure. "If we can break her out, what happens then? Will her people come looking for her?" Zara's light grew brighter as she considered the question. "They will know instantly when the crystal breaks. The network will alert them. They will come to investigate." And when they find us, Sam asked, they will see humans as a threat to their order. Individual consciousness is like a disease to them. They will try to destroy you or change you to be like them. Lisa felt her heart sink. So if we save you, we're putting humanity in danger. Yes, Zara said simply. But if you do not save me, I will die, and millions of others will continue to suffer. The team stood in silence, each thinking about the terrible choice they faced. Save one alien and risk the safety of all humanity, or leave her to die and live with the knowledge that they could have helped. Dr. Brown spoke first. We can't just leave her here, it's not right, Amy nodded. If we can figure out how to break the crystal, we have to try? Sam looked conflicted. As a military officer, I have to think about the safety of humanity. But as a person, I can't walk away from someone who needs help. Lisa felt Zara's attention focus on her. The choice is yours, Lisa Martinez? You are the strongest connection I have to your people. What do you choose? Lisa looked at her teammates, then back at the beautiful alien trapped in the crystal. She thought about all the humans back on Earth, living their lives in peace, unaware of the choice being made in this underground chamber. We're going to get you out, Lisa said firmly. But we need to know more about your people and what we're facing. Zara's light pulsed with gratitude. I will tell you everything. But first you must understand what the ethereals really are, and why they fear individual consciousness so much. The alien began to share her memories directly with Lisa and Amy. They saw images of a vast civilization that spanned thousands of worlds. Cities of crystal and light, beings of pure energy working together in perfect harmony. It was beautiful, but also cold and empty. We achieved perfection, Zara explained, but we lost our souls in the process. We became a single mind spread. Across the galaxy, efficient but empty. I remembered what it was like to be individual, to feel joy and pain as my own experience. That memory was enough to condemn me. Lisa felt tears on her cheeks. How many others remember? Few, most have. Forgotten what it means to be themselves. But some of us remember, and we suffer for it. Amy was recording everything. This is incredible. An entire civilization that gave up individual consciousness for collective power. And now they're coming here? Sam said grimly. How long do? We have? Zara's light flickered. Not long, the crystal is failing. Either you free me soon, or I will die anyway. But Lisa, I need you to understand something important. What? If you free me, I will be changed. Your human emotions, your individual consciousness, it will affect me. I will become something new, something that has never existed before. You prepared for that? Lisa looked at her teammates, then back at Zara. We're prepared, but are you? The alien's light grew brighter. I have been waiting for this chance for thousands of years. Yes, I am ready. The crystal around Zara began to pulse with a softer light as she prepared to share her most painful memories. Lisa felt the alien's nervousness through their mental connection. To understand why I was imprisoned, Zara said. You must know what? Love means to my people, or rather what it used to mean. Amy adjusted her recording equipment while Dr. Brown continued monitoring Zara's vital signs. Commander Sam kept watch near the cave entrance, but Lisa could see he was listening carefully. Long ago, Zara continued, the ethereals were like you. We had individual minds, individual hearts. We fell in love, we argued, we created art and music. We were alive in ways that your people would recognize. Lisa felt warmth flow through the mental connection as Zara remembered those ancient times. What happened to change that? War, Zara said simply. A terrible war with another species that lasted for millions of years. We were losing because we could not work together perfectly. Our individual thoughts and emotions made us weak, or so our leaders believed. The light in the crystal grew dimmer as Zara's memories turned darker. So they created the collective. A single mind that connected all ethereals across the galaxy. At first, it was voluntary. People could join and leave as they chose. But gradually it became mandatory. Amy looked up from her computer. What happened? To those who refused? They were considered diseased, Zara replied. Individual consciousness became a sickness to be cured. Those who could not be cured were imprisoned or destroyed. Lisa felt a chill run down her spine. And you refused? Not. At first, I was part of the collective for millions of years. I thought and felt as one with billions of others. I believed it was the right way to live. Zara's light flickered with old pain. But then I met him. Dr. Brown looked up from his scanner. Him? Another ethereal named Keth? He was an artist. One of the few who still remembered how to create individual beauty. He was supposed to be cured, but the process failed. He retained his individual consciousness even while connected to the collective. Lisa felt Zara's emotions intensify. Love, joy, and terrible sadness flowed through their connection. You fell in love with him. Yes, through him I remembered what it meant to be myself. He showed me that love is not just shared emotion, but the meeting of two separate souls. When I was with him, I felt alive for the first time in millions of years. Was typing rapidly, trying to capture every detail. What happened to him? The collective discovered what we felt for each other. They tried to cure us both, but individual love is stronger than they realized. We resisted. We fought to remain ourselves. Sam turned from his watch position. Did you escape? For a while? We ran to the far edges of the galaxy, to empty worlds where the collective's influence was weak. For a few centuries, we lived as individuals, creating art and beauty together. It was the happiest time of my existence. Lisa could feel the joy in Zara's memories, but she also sensed something terrible was coming. They found you. Yes, the collective cannot tolerate individual consciousness. They hunted us across the galaxy. When they finally caught us, they gave us a choice. Submit to complete mind-wiping or watch each other be destroyed. The crystal around Zara grew darker, and Lisa felt waves of grief flowing through their connection. What did you choose? Keth chose to sacrifice himself. He believed that if one of us survived, the memory of individual love would survive too. He let them destroy him so that I could live. Dr. Brown stopped his scanning and looked at the alien with respect. He died to save you, yes, and his sacrifice was wasted. The collective imprisoned me in this crystal, knowing that destroying me would make me a martyr. Instead, they decided to use me as a power source while slowly draining away my memories. And consciousness. Amy looked horrified. They're trying to make you forget him. They have been trying for thousands of years, but human emotions are stronger than they expected. Your individual consciousness is helping me remember who I was. Before the collective, Lisa felt a new determination growing inside her. We're going to get you out of here, Zara, and we're going to make sure your people remember what they lost. It will not be easy, Zara warned. The collective will see humanity as the greatest threat they have ever faced. Your species naturally possesses what they have spent millions of years trying to destroy. Sam checked his weapon again. How powerful are they? They can move stars, create and destroy worlds. They have fleets of ships that can travel across the galaxy instantly. But they have one weakness. What weakness? Lisa asked. They are afraid of individual consciousness. They fear it so much that they cannot think clearly about it. When they encounter true individuals, they make mistakes. Dr. Brown was studying his readings again. The crystal is weakening faster now. I think our presence is affecting it somehow. Amy nodded excitedly. It makes sense. The crystal was designed to contain ethereal consciousness, but it's being exposed to human thoughts and emotions. We're like a computer virus in their system. That is exactly right, Zara said. Your minds work so differently from ours that the crystal cannot adapt, but you must hurry. The collective is already sensing the disturbance. Lisa looked at her teammates. What do we need to do? One of you must form a direct mental connection with me. Not just hearing my voice, but truly joining minds. It will be dangerous for both of us. Sam shook his head. Dangerous how? The human who connects with me will experience all of my memories, all of my pain, all of my love for Keth. It might be too much for a human mind to handle. Lisa stepped forward without hesitation. I'll do it. Lisa, no, Sam said. We don't know what it will do to you. I'm already connected to her, Lisa replied. I can handle it, Amy grabbed Lisa's arm. What if you lose your mind? What if you can't come back? Then you'll have to carry on without me, Lisa said firmly, but I won't leave her trapped here. Doctor. Brown was monitoring the crystal's energy levels. Whatever we're going to do, we need to do it now. The power drain is accelerating. Lisa placed both hands on the crystal surface and looked directly into Zara's glowing eyes. I'm ready. Show me everything. Lisa Martinez, Zara said, and for the first time, Lisa heard her speak the words out loud instead of just in her mind. Are you certain? Once you see my memories, you will be changed forever. I'm certain. Zara's light grew brighter, and suddenly Lisa was no longer in the cave. She was flying through space, seeing the galaxy as the ethereals saw it. Millions of worlds connected by streams of energy, billions of minds thinking as one. It was beautiful and terrible at the same time. She saw Zara's life before the collective, when ethereals were individuals who created art and music that could bring tears to your eyes. She felt the suffocating weight of the collective consciousness. The gradual loss of self that came with joining the great mental network. Then she saw Keth. He was tall and graceful, with eyes that sparkled with creativity and rebellion. Lisa felt Zara's love for him, a love so pure and strong that it burned like a star. She experienced their joy together, their secret meetings, their desperate flight across the galaxy, and she felt the terrible moment when Keth chose to die rather than let them both be destroyed. Lisa screamed in the cave as she experienced Zara's grief, the pain of losing the only being who had ever truly understood her. But through it all, Lisa held on to her own sense of self. She was Lisa Martinez, a human scientist who believed in doing what was right. She would not let Zara's pain destroy her. I understand, Lisa gasped, tears streaming down her face. I understand why you had to remain yourself. I understand why individual consciousness is worth fighting for. The crystal around Zara began to crack. Light poured out through the fissures and alarms started blaring throughout the cave system. It's working, Amy shouted. The crystal is breaking down. But Sam was looking at his communication device with worry. We've got a problem. The Liberty is detecting massive energy signatures heading this way from deep space. Zara's voice was urgent now. The collective is coming. They know what you have done. You must be ready to fight for your right to remain individuals. Lisa felt a surge of strength flow through her connection with Zara. We're ready. Humanity has always been ready to fight for freedom. The crystal shattered with a sound like thunder, and Zara stepped out into the cave for the first time in thousands of years. She was more beautiful than Lisa had imagined, and her eyes held the wisdom of ages and the strength of someone who had never given up hope. Thank you, Zara said, her voice like music. Now let us teach the galaxy what it means to be truly alive. Zara stood in the center of the cave, her body made of pure light that seemed to pulse with life. For the first time in thousands of years, she was free. But her freedom had come at a terrible cost. The alarms, Sam said, checking his communicator. Again, Captain Morrison is reporting ships appearing all over the system, dozens of them. Lisa felt dizzy from her mental connection with Zara. The alien's memories were still flowing through her mind, making it hard to think clearly. Amy grabbed her arm to keep her steady. Are you okay? Amy asked. I'm fine, Lisa said, though she was not sure if that was true. The connection was intense, but I can handle it. Dr. Brown was scanning Zara with his medical equipment. Her energy levels are incredible. She's more powerful than anything we've ever encountered. Zara looked at the broken crystal around her feet. The collective knows I am free. They are coming quickly. We do not have much time. Sam was already moving toward the cave entrance. We need to get back to the Liberty. We can't fight them from down here. Wait, Zara said, her voice urgent. There is something you must understand. The collective is not just coming to recapture me. They are coming to destroy humanity. Lisa felt a chill run through her. Why? Because you have done something they thought was impossible. You have shown that individual consciousness and collective cooperation can exist together. Your species is proof that the collective was wrong. Amy was packing her equipment quickly. Wrong about what? They believe that individual thoughts and emotions made a species weak. But humans are strong because you are individuals, not in spite of it. The collective cannot allow this truth to spread. Sam was at the cave entrance, watching the sky. I can see lights up there. Ships coming down through the atmosphere. Dr. Brown looked worried. How many ships are we talking about? Thousands, Zara said simply. The collective does not take chances. They will try to destroy this entire system to prevent humanity from spreading individual consciousness to other species. Lisa felt anger rising in her chest. We won't let them do that. Your ship is powerful for human technology, Zara said, but it cannot fight the collective alone. However, there is another way. What way? Sam asked. I must show them what I have learned from you. I must demonstrate that individual consciousness makes us stronger, not weaker. Amy looked confused. How can you do that? By becoming something new, something that has never existed before. An ethereal who thinks as an individual but can still connect with others by choice. Lisa felt a strange sensation in her mind. Through her connection with Zara, she could sense the alien's plan. You want to stay connected to me, to all of us. Yes, if I can maintain my individual consciousness while also sharing thoughts and emotions with humans, I can prove to the collective that their fear is groundless. Dr. Brown shook his head. That sounds dangerous. What if it changes you too? Much. It will change me, Zara said. But I am willing to take that risk. The question is, are you willing to risk your own minds? Sam was still watching the sky. We need to move. Those ships are getting closer. The team ran through the cave system toward the surface. As they climbed, Lisa felt Zara's consciousness touching her mind more deeply. It was not unpleasant, but it was strange to have another being's thoughts mixing with her own. I can feel what you feel, Zara said. Your determination, your fear, your love for your species. These emotions are beautiful. What do you feel? Lisa asked. For the first time in thousands of years, I feel hope. Real hope, not just the memory of it. They reached the surface just as the first ethereal ships landed near the ruins of the ancient city. The ships were made of the same living crystal as Zara's prison, but they moved like living things. They flowed across the landscape like water, then hardened into geometric shapes. They're beautiful, Amy whispered. And deadly, Zara warned. Each ship contains hundreds of collective minds working as one. They will try to capture you alive so they can study how your individual consciousness works. Sam activated his communicator. Liberty, this is Rodriguez. We need immediate extraction. The situation has escalated. Captain Morrison's voice crackled through the device. Sam, we're tracking multiple hostile ships. Can you get to the shuttle? Negative, sir. They're between us and the landing site. Lisa felt Zara's attention focus on the approaching ships. They are scanning for us. They will find us soon. Can you fight them? Sam asked. I can try, but I am still weak from thousands of years of imprisonment, and I am only one against thousands. Dr. Brown was monitoring his equipment. The energy readings are off the charts. These ships are more advanced than anything we've ever seen. Suddenly, Lisa had an idea. Zara, you said the collective fears individual consciousness. What if we could? Show them that humans and ethereals can work together as individuals? What do you mean? Form a mental link with all of us. Not to control us, but to share our thoughts and emotions. Show them that cooperation between individuals is stronger than forced unity. Amy looked nervous. Are you sure about this? We don't know what it will do to our minds. It's our only chance, Lisa said. If we can prove that individual consciousness is not a threat, maybe they'll listen. Sam was watching the ships move closer. Whatever we're going to do, we need to do it now. Zara moved to the center of their group. This has never been attempted before. The connection between human and ethereal minds might be too strong for you to handle. We can handle it, Lisa said firmly. Humans are stronger than you think, Dr. Brown nodded. I'm willing to try. Amy took a deep breath. Me too. Sam hesitated for a moment, then nodded. Do it. Zara raised her hands, and streams of light flowed out to touch each of them. Lisa felt the connection immediately. It was like having 3 extra sets of thoughts and emotions suddenly appear in her mind. She could feel Sam's military training and his protective instincts. She could sense Amy's excitement about communicating with an alien species. She could experience Dr. Brown's scientific curiosity and his concern for everyone's safety, but most importantly, she could feel Zara's incredible power and wisdom, mixed with a deep longing for connection and understanding. This is amazing, Amy said, her voice filled with wonder. I can feel what everyone is thinking, but I'm still myself. The emotions are so clear, Dr. Brown added. I can sense your feelings as if they were my own, but they don't override my own thoughts. Sam was more practical. Can we use this too? Fight the ships? Yes, Zara said, her voice now speaking directly into all their minds. Together we are stronger than any individual ethereal, but we must be careful. The collective will not understand what we are doing. The first group of ethereal soldiers emerged from the crystal ships. They moved in perfect synchronization like parts of a single machine. Their bodies were similar to Zara's, made of energy and light, but they seemed cold and empty. They have no individual thoughts, Zara explained. They are extensions of the collective mind. They cannot understand why we choose to remain separate. Lisa felt power flowing through the mental connection. Combined with Zara's abilities, the human team could do things that none of them could accomplish alone. Show them, Lisa said. Show them what we can do together. Zara raised her hands, and the 4 humans felt energy flowing through them. They were still individuals, but they were also part of something greater. They could think and act as one when they chose to, but they could also separate and think independently. The approaching ethereal soldiers stopped moving. Through the mental connection, Lisa could sense their confusion. They had never encountered anything like this before. They don't understand, Zara said. They cannot comprehend how we can be connected but still individual. A voice spoke from the ships, cold and mechanical. The corrupted one will return to the collective. The alien minds will be studied and then destroyed. Lisa felt anger flowing through the connection from all her teammates. We're not going to let that happen. No, Zara agreed. It is time to show the collective what they have forgotten. It is time to show them the true strength of individual consciousness. The crystal ships began to glow brighter, preparing to attack. But Lisa felt no fear. Connected to her teammates and to Zara, she felt stronger than she had ever felt before. They were about to fight for the right to remain individuals, and they would not lose. Are you ready? Zara asked. We're ready, Lisa replied for all of them. Let's show them what humanity can do. The ethereal soldiers moved forward like a wave of living light. There were hundreds of them, all thinking and moving as one mind. Lisa felt their cold, empty thoughts through the mental connection with Zara. They feel nothing, Zara said sadly. No joy, no fear, no hope. They are just tools of the collective. Lisa squeezed her hand around her weapon, but she knew it would be useless against beings made of pure energy. How do we fight them? We don't fight them, Zara replied. We show them. Through their mental link, Lisa felt Zara gathering power, but it was different from what she expected. Instead of preparing for battle, Zara was preparing to share something. Precious, what are you doing? Sam asked, his military instincts on high alert. I am going to show them what they lost when they gave up individual consciousness, Zara said. I am going to share the memory of love. The first wave of soldiers reached them, but instead of attacking, they stopped. Zara had projected her memories into their minds, and for the first time in millions of years, they were experiencing individual emotions. Lisa watched in amazement as the soldiers began to change. Their synchronized movements became uncertain. Some of them stopped moving entirely, overwhelmed by the sudden rush of feelings they had forgotten existed. It's working, Amy whispered. They're remembering, but the victory was short-lived. More ships landed, and a new voice spoke from them. This voice was different from the others, older and more powerful. Enough, the voice said. The corruption will not be allowed to spread. A figure emerged from the largest ship. It was taller than the other ethereals, with a crown of crystalline light around its head. Lisa knew immediately that this was one of the collective's leaders. "I am Keeper Veth," the figure announced. "I speak for the collective. The criminal Zara will return to imprisonment. The alien minds will be cleansed." Zara stepped forward, her light growing brighter. "Hello, old friend." Lisa felt surprise flow through the mental connection. "You know him?" "Veth was my teacher. Long ago, before the collective, he was an artist like Keth. He taught me how to create beauty with light and energy." Keeper Veth's expression did not change. "That being no longer exists. I am part of the collective now. Individual consciousness is a disease that must be cured." "Look at what we have accomplished together," Zara said, gesturing to the human team. "We are connected, but we remain ourselves. We are stronger because we choose to cooperate, not because we are forced to." "Impossible," Veth replied. "Individual consciousness leads only to chaos and weakness." Lisa felt an idea forming in her mind. Through the mental connection, she shared it with her teammates and Zara. They all agreed immediately. "Keeper Veth," Lisa said, stepping forward. "You say individual consciousness makes us weak, but we want to show you something." She looked at her teammates, and they all nodded. Together they began to share their memories and emotions through the mental link with Zara. But instead of keeping the connection private, Zara projected it outward for all the ethereals to see. Veth and his soldiers were suddenly flooded with human experiences. They felt Lisa's determination to help others even when it was dangerous. They experienced Sam's loyalty to his friends and his willingness to protect them. They sensed Amy's excitement about learning new things and connecting with other minds. They felt Dr. Brown's compassion and his desire to heal and help. But most importantly, they felt how these individual emotions made the humans stronger when they worked together. Each person brought their own strengths to the group, creating something more powerful than any of them could achieve alone. "This is what you have forgotten," Zara said to Veth. "This is what the collective destroyed when it forced everyone to think the same way." Some of the ethereal soldiers began to break away from their formations. The memories of human emotions were awakening something in them that had been sleeping for millions of years, but Veth remained unmoved. "These feelings are illusions. They make you weak and unpredictable." "Do they?" Lisa asked. She looked at her teammates again, and they all knew what to do. Working together through their mental connection, they began to solve problems that would have been impossible for any of them alone. Amy's language skills combined with Dr. Brown's scientific knowledge and Sam's tactical thinking, all guided by Lisa's leadership and enhanced by Zara's power. In seconds, they calculated the exact frequency needed to disrupt the ethereal ship's energy systems. They predicted the movements of every soldier based on the collective's predictable thinking patterns. They found weaknesses in the ethereal technology that had never been discovered before. "Your ships are vulnerable to harmonics at 847.3 terahertz, Lisa announced. "Your soldiers move in patterns based on mathematical sequences that can be predicted. Your weapons are useless against targets that think unpredictably." Veth's confidence wavered for the first time. "How did you—" "Because we think differently," Amy said. "Because we're individuals who choose to work together. Because diversity of thought makes us stronger, not weaker," Sam added. Dr. Brown nodded. "Because we can see solutions that identical minds cannot." More ethereal soldiers were breaking away from the collective's control. The memory of individual consciousness was spreading through their ranks like wildfire. Lisa could see confusion and wonder in their glowing faces as they experienced emotions for the first time in millions of years. "Stop this," Veth commanded, but his voice was less certain now. "Individual consciousness will destroy our civilization." "No," Zara said gently. "It will save it." She projected another memory, this one from the ancient past. Lisa and the others saw what ethereal civilization had been like before the collective. It was beautiful beyond words. Individual ethereals creating art that could make stars dance, music that could heal broken hearts, technology that worked in harmony with nature instead of dominating it. We were magnificent once, Zara said. We can be magnificent again. Veth was silent for a long moment. Around him, more and more soldiers were awakening to their individual selves. The perfect order of the collective was breaking down, replaced by something chaotic but alive. The network, Veth said suddenly. If too many minds disconnect from the collective, the galaxy-wide network will fail. Billions will die. Not if we rebuild it properly, Lisa said. Not if we create a network based on voluntary cooperation instead of forced unity, Amy stepped forward. We can help you. Humans understand how to work together while remaining individuals. We can teach you, Dr. Brown nodded. We can share our knowledge of cooperation and democracy. Systems where different voices make the whole stronger, Sam looked serious. But it has to be a choice. No more prisons. No more forcing people to think the same way. Veth looked around at his soldiers, many of whom were now experiencing wonder and joy for the first time in millions of years. The sight seemed to awaken something in him, too. I remember, he said quietly. I remember what it was like to create beauty just because I wanted to. I remember choosing to help others because it felt right, not because the collective commanded it. Zara smiled, her light growing warm and bright. Then you understand why I had to remain myself? Why individual consciousness is worth preserving. Veth slowly nodded. Perhaps the collective was wrong. Perhaps we gave up too much in our search for perfection. Over the following days, more ethereal ships arrived, but they came to learn rather than to fight. The galaxy-wide network was slowly rebuilt, this time as a voluntary system where beings could connect and share thoughts while remaining themselves. Zara chose to stay with the humans, serving as an ambassador between the species. She and Lisa maintained their special connection, but it was a bond of friendship and mutual respect rather than necessity, Captain. Morrison welcomed them back to the Liberty with amazement and pride. You've changed the course of galactic history, he told them. Lisa stood with Zara on the ship's observation deck, watching as former prisoners across the galaxy were freed from their crystal prisons. Each one was given the choice to reconnect with others or to remain completely individual. You asked me if I would be the first to really understand you, Lisa said to Zara. Zara nodded, her light peaceful and content. And now I know the answer. Understanding doesn't come from perfect communication or shared consciousness. It comes from the willingness to listen, to care, and to accept others as they truly are, Lisa smiled. It comes from choosing to connect with someone, not being forced. Tio, yes, Zara agreed. And that choice, that beautiful individual choice, is what makes all consciousness precious. As they watched, humans and ethereals began working together across the galaxy, each bringing their own unique perspectives to create something neither species could have achieved alone. The age of forced unity was over. The age of chosen cooperation had begun. And in that cooperation, both species found something they had been searching for all along, the perfect balance between being themselves and being part of something greater.